Hey my friends, how's it going? It's Ultimus, and in today's video we're going to talk about patch 7.3, how to prepare for it, what to do, what not to do. It's going to be a pretty short, simple video, not a whole lot of crazy stuff here, but there are some important things I think that are, good to know, just simply so that you can minimize and maximize your time, and that way you're not wasting your time. So I want to start off talking about nether shards and our new currency known as Veiled Argonite. So, for those of you that are unaware, we are getting a new currency on Argus called Veiled Argonite. Big surprise. And what you're going to be able to do is now, these are now what is replacing nether shards. For those of you that are familiar, nether shards are what we farmed on the Broken Isles, and as well as doing Legion point invasions throughout the Broken Isles and on the Broken Shore, which we would turn in for gear that would be 880 item level and have a chance, of course, to roll up. Now what we're doing is that is going away. Nether shards are no longer going to be a currency that is used except for the Mage Tower, and now we are moving in the direction of Veiled Argonite, which makes sense. We're on a new planet area zone, so new currency makes sense to me. Now we're gonna have a few more options for this, which is cool. Not only do you have the ring, the necklace, the cloak, the bracers, etc., all your slots of gear that you get, but if you'll notice here, on top of also having the trinkets still, we're getting relics now that we can target per slot. So if you notice, this is blood, iron, fire, shadow, and storm. Those are all relics that warriors will use throughout all three artifact weapons. So instead of rolling the dice on what relic you'll get for which slot you'll get for which item level you get, also for like which slot you're gonna get. So if you really want a storm relic but you roll for nether shards and you get a blood relic, sorry, hope it's better than your current blood relic. Sorry, I have dog hair in my eye, it's weird. Now you're gonna be able to actually target whichever relic you want, which will be nice when combining it with the Crucible, which will let you split relics and traits and things like that, so you can get more bang for your buck, all that. So personally, I think it's a great change. Now, that being said, you do not need to stockpile your nether shards if gear is your goal. Don't bother wasting your time. You have better things to do with your time. However, if you are looking to jump in and continue to do the Mage Tower in an attempt to get your artifact weapon appearance from that, this is where this is going to be one of those do what you want situations, because if you would like to have some bragging rights and have the Mage Tower done before item level gets too inflated, and you want a little bit of, again, bragging rights to where you can say I did it when it was a little bit harder, then dump your nether shards now into trying to do that before 7.3 goes live. The Mage Tower should be live pretty soon, if not by the time this video goes live, at least on my server. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing personally, because I'm very, very close to having it finished. I just keep missing out on phase 3 on pretty much all my fights. So that being said, that's what I'm going to do with my nether shards. But there are those of you that maybe are just more interested in getting it done and making it easier for yourself. So in that case, maybe hang on to your nether shards and see if you can get a little bit higher item level from doing world quests and dungeons, etc. on Argus, and then jump into doing the Mage Tower and make it easier on yourself. That's do what you want with that one. No judgment here. If you want to make it easier on yourself, I totally get it. Or if you're like me, you kind of like the challenge, then maybe try it now. So like I said, so with that, do as you will with that. That being said as well, some other things not to worry about for 7.3. I like talking about this stuff because it's interesting. It's weird talking about what not to do for a patch coming up, which unfortunately is kind of the state of Legion right now. It's been kind of the most recurring theme and complaint has been it's very passive. It's like World of Waitcraft. Simply because you're almost being rewarded for waiting to doing things later. That being said, one of the big ones now, though, which I think is better for the overall health of the game, to be completely honest with you, is your relic slots. If you have a character at 110 and you are in the process of unlocking your third relic slot, unless you are trying to just complete the story and enjoy it for what it is, don't bother wasting your time, because on 7.3, when it goes live, all characters at 110 are going to have all 3 relic slots unlocked. So you don't need to complete the Order Hall questline, the artifact questline for it. No, it was the Order Hall questline for it. Which is nice, because one of my personal gripes with Legion has been how cool it is to be able to select whichever zone I want to quest in, because if there's just some zones I just don't enjoy, so I don't have to quest there. Except Val Shara. You have to go through Val Shara and do that quest line to get the Tears of Elune for everybody's artifact weapon, which is required to get your 3rd relic slot. So for me, that felt kind of counterintuitive and like a design flaw, so it'll be nice to just have relic slots opened. Another thing that I'll say, this is going to be a personal thing, whether you want to or not, totally up to you whether you think this is worth your time or not. Artifact knowledge is going to be changing once 7.3 goes live as well. Now you're no longer going to need to put work orders in to increase artifact knowledge. It's going to increase by 1 every week, recurring from this point out, basically until you hit max knowledge. Automatically. So pretty much like the moment you wake up after reset, you get on for the first time after reset every week. From my understanding, is your artifact knowledge is going to be increased. If you want to get your artifact knowledge as high as possible, then cool. Or your traits. Your knowledge is capped right now. Knowledge is capped. It doesn't go any higher than what it is. If you want to get your traits up right now, sweet. Or if you'd rather just wait until artifact knowledge does continue to go up, then that's totally fine, because it's going to get insane once 7.3 goes live. So that's up to you and how you feel like your time is most spent. I know for me personally, I'm not really going to worry about it too much about getting any more points in Concordance. This is my PTR character, which was preloaded a while ago. I'm up to Concordance 5 or 6 on my main. So the artifact knowledge for that is a bit high. So I'm not really going to bother grinding that out. I'm just going to kind of wait. Just because I'd rather do other things with my time at the moment. I really just want to focus on getting my character geared and beating the Mage Tower challenges before 7.3 goes live. So however you feel your time is well spent, that's fine, but I necessarily wouldn't recommend grinding out Concordance for your weapon until 7.3 goes live, because again, you're going to get artifact knowledge that's so high, it's not going to matter. And all of your alts are pretty much going to be caught up to your mains anyways on artifact knowledge, so it doesn't matter. So again, it's weird talking about things not to do for a patch to prep, but when you consider time versus reward and what you get out of it, it's better just to wait at this point. I guess we can touch on this too, is the world quest for Argus are now here down to the tooltips as well. It does require the further advancements in the Argus campaign. As you can see over here, we have Argus here on the map, which I like, as opposed to being out here like it would be if it were its own expansion. But since it is just a little subzone for a content patch, it's kind of nice that it's here on the Broken Isles, which makes sense to me. You got the 3 zones here like we predicted, and then we have Azeroth over here in the corner because it's got like the Maelstrom here. At first when I looked at it, I thought it was the Void, but then I realized no, it's just Azeroth, which is fine. That's fine. No problem, Azeroth. I like you too. Some other things that are worth noting for 7.3 to prep is that now the item level in dungeons is going to be increased on drops. Let me find the notes for it so I'm saying the exact proper numbers here. For normal dungeons, the item level is going to be 845. For heroics, it's going to be 865, and then for mythics, it's going to be 885. So one of the things I would do before 7.3 launches is get any characters that you've been wanting to play, level up, spend the next few times, as long as you have time, unless you have like raid time commitments or arena partner commitments and things like that. Or obviously, if you have other stuff that's more important to you, then that's fine. But I personally, I'm spending my time with getting my paladin level up, so that way once 7.3 hits, she's ready to go and just start gearing. Because I will play through the artifact or the order hall quest line just because I enjoy the stories of them. I'll get a good amount of artifact power from that as well, and I'll be forced to go into some dungeons, which would be good for gearing. And then the boxes you get from the Broken Shore world quest, where you turn in the Legion Fall resources, those boxes are no longer going to be a reward. So at this point, the only thing worth doing on the Broken Shore is going to be the world quests that are going to be there. They're going to be adding world quests in there as well, like they have with all the other zones, where you complete the 4, turn it in for your box, get your thing. Cool. So keep your eyes out for that. So we're going to have a lot of sections for world quests, which will be nice, which again at this point is just more chances at legendaries, if you ask me. And then legendaries, that's what it was. So one of the things to be mindful with is we don't have an exact item level yet for legendaries. My best guess is 1,000 because there's been some weird tooltip stuff going on where people have been talking about it being a little bit of a glitch or a bug, but there's been some crafted legendaries coming out of the PTR saying that they are at item level 1,000. Now, my speculation with this is that once 7.3 goes live, there will be no mechanics to upgrade your legendaries yet because the item level cap from raid gearing is not going up. That will happen with 7.3.5 once Argus itself comes out as a raid. So my guess is that we'll have the standard catch-up mechanic for all legendaries to level them up then. I hope we get a little bit of a different process just because it's a little bit tedious to level up all your legendaries this way. But I would imagine that we are still going to be seeing that process put in. So again, this is going to be one of those things where I think it's going to be up to you whether you think your time is well spent doing this. But you can spend time still farming for legendaries just because you want them and then be willing to put the time in to upgrade them later, or maybe just wait a little bit until 7.3.5 comes out and then just get it at a higher item level. So up to you. I don't necessarily go out of my way to find legendaries, to be completely honest with you. I just play the game and let them come to me. I've been pretty fortunate that way, and it just kind of works for me. I just find that I don't really want to stress myself out hunting for legendaries. I don't do mythic raiding, so it's almost irrelevant to me. And I've been pretty fortunate. Like I said, I've got good legendaries on my main, and actually the only character that I have that actually has really crappy legendaries now is my Shadow Priest, which is fine because she's a brand new character and she's an alt, so it doesn't really matter to me. But so take that with a grain of salt, do what you want. Another thing that I would look into that I am not in a position to give advice on because I'm not an expert on it, so I don't want to give you guys bad advice, but I would say look up gold making guides. Spend some time looking up some gold making guides on YouTube, on the Googles, whatever you got to do, just to look for ways to make money going into patch 7.3 once we make the transition. The big money maker, of course, will be once the raid drops. Everyone's looking for enchants, materials, all that stuff like that, so keep that in mind. Maybe stockpile some materials and get ready for that. Otherwise, that's about as much advice as I have on gold making. If you guys think I missed anything, or if there's any big things or advice that you would give to anybody going into 7.3, drop it down in the comment section below. Looking forward to this patch a lot. The lore is really cool. I'm one of the weirdos that looked at the end more or less of the expansion. I know how this all ends, and I'm very excited. I promise, no spoilers. But I'm very excited for this content patch. I'm looking forward to getting into it. I just enjoy the pacing of Legion content too, so I think that's been a big deal for me. And overall, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, so looking forward to it. But as I mentioned before, if you guys think I missed anything, or if you think there's anything that is just a must-know for anybody going into a patch to prep and be ready to set themselves in a position to be just set up for success, drop it down in the comment section below. I would love to see people just being helpful. I think it's great, and if I can be a catalyst for that, then awesome. You guys are awesome. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, it's been a pleasure making this for you guys. But if you did enjoy it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to follow me on different social media platforms that are shared all throughout the channel here. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter. There's also a Facebook setup as well if you guys like to hang out there. I'd love to get to know you guys, chat with you more there. But that's going to do it for me. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.